My client has done everything that's asked of him. In fact, he has helped mom be able to maintain her job. And she actually traveled out of state for multiple days, and he had the kiddos for multiple overnights as well.
He provides that childcare for her on her parenting days so that my client can maintain a job.
When he takes that and when he passes it, will the court entertain a motion to modify parenting time? The only reason that Klaus gave my client about not wanting to do shared residency is she just wasn't ready for that.
Case is entitled in the matter of the marriage of Brianna Klaus, petitioner, and Gavin Klaus, respondent, case number 26 DM 168. Would counsel announce appearances, please?
Susie Locke be here on behalf of the petitioner Brianna Klaus, who appears in my office and via Zoom.
Please the court, Your Honor. Respondent Gavin Klaus appears via Zoom and with counsel Caitlin M. Dixon.
All right, I think where we're at, there's an outstanding motion to modify parenting time and child support and motion to establish temporary orders. Are we still at that phase, or are we ready to do something different?
We're still at that phase, Judge.
All right. Have there been any agreements reached regarding the pending issues?
No, Judge.
All right. Are you all ready to take those up this morning?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms.
Yes,
Locke?
Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. We've got about an hour's worth of time. Do you think we can get this in that time frame?
I think so, Judge. I was under the impression this was just set for argument today, but if we need to take evidence, that's fine.
Okay, that's the time frame we've got. So if you all intend just to make argument, that's fine. So, Ms. Dixon, it's your motion, so you may proceed.
I believe it's. Give me just a second. I thought it was Miss Locke's motion, but
Well, I'm looking at a motion that was filed back on May 15th.
then that's mine. Okay. So Judge, what we're asking the court to do today is adopt our proposed parenting plan in this matter. We're asking for essentially a week on, week off schedule. And what the parties have been doing is school is about ready to start next week. I believe it starts the 11th. My client's been having the children Monday through Friday from about 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., as well as overnights, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then every other weekend. Mom wanted time this summer to see how everything went. And if you look at all that parenting time he's had for the past 3 months, Judge, that's about a 46% parenting time. I know mom has supposedly had concerns about my client's drinking in the past. Judge, he does admit that he is currently going to VA meetings, I believe once a week. He also has a therapist, Dr. Ginger Gunn, but he's been doing that for over a year. Moreover, he offered to take a hair follicle test if mom would pay for it, and she's never taken him up on that. And her conduct, Judge, by allowing him to have the children for so much time, essentially demonstrates that he is ready for shared residency at this point. The children are doing extremely well. Mom works Monday through Friday from about, I think, 7:30 to 4:30. I think her hours changed a tiny bit. So even during her parenting time, he would be able to pick the kiddos up from school. He is on VA disability, Judge, so he does not work during the week at all. He is ready and able to have all of the children, and he's been successfully doing that for the past few weeks. In fact, the only reason that Klaus gave my client about not wanting to do shared residency is she just wasn't ready for that, is what she told him. That's not an appropriate reason, Judge. He also, as I stated, he also has no issue with picking up the children from school during mom's parenting time, and then she can come to his house and pick up the children from there when she gets off work. It's my understanding she works at the prison, so she can be hard to get a hold of during the day, or at least that's according to my client, which he understands. So there is zero reason at this time, Judge, for my client not to have shared residency. We're asking, as I said, for the week on, week off. I believe from Sunday at 12 to Sunday at 12 p.m. is what our proposed parenting plan states. And in fact, I mean, really, they're almost to de facto shared residency at this point anyway. Like I said, when you take into consideration all the parenting time that he's had this summer, he was already at 46% according to our parenting time calculator that we had. So we are asking the court to adopt that parenting plan. And I am in settlement negotiations with Ms. Locke regarding property. I think that we'll be able to get that done. There isn't, knock on wood, I don't think this case is very complicated with respect to property, Judge. But we are just asking the court maybe to set this out. And Judge, I don't know, do you do mediation at all for parenting time?
We do domestic conciliation
That's it.
generally.
Okay. That might be beneficial to these parties, but considering the amount of parenting time my client has had, and the fact that it's been going really well, he's, like I said, he's also been helping mom out, watching kiddos with her job. In fact, I forgot to mention, she actually traveled out of state for multiple days, and he had the kiddos for multiple overnights as well. So Judge, we're asking essentially just for 4% more parenting time at this point. It's minute what he is asking for a difference in parenting time, and that is what we would submit to the court.
So where do each of the parties live?
They both live in El Dorado.
All right. And where do the kids all go to school in El Dorado school?
Yes.
And they're in, what grades are they going to be in this year?
Gavin, what grades are they going to be in? I know they're all in elementary school, Judge.
Third, second, and kindergarten.
Third, second, and kindergarten at Blackmore.
And they start next week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
They start on Tuesday.
Okay. And Ms. Dixon, you said your client is on VA disability and is not working during the days?
Correct.
Okay. And the current plan they have is Monday through Friday and every other weekend?
And
No,
he has 2 nights, overnights as well during the week.
Okay.
Judge,
So
the parenting plan stated by Ms. Dixon is not accurate. And I would be happy to provide some clarification.
okay. Yeah, if you could, please.
Sure, Judge. So Mr. Klaus has been providing work-related childcare this summer, so that my client can maintain a job. She doesn't get child support or spousal maintenance in this case. And so obviously she needed an income. He provides that childcare for her on her parenting days, which are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. He has the kids overnight from Wednesday at 3:30 until Friday about 5:30. And then he has had them 1 weekend a month.
I'm sorry, Judge, that is correct. The one weekend a month. I apologize.
And when the children start school, there will be no need for the work-related childcare additional time that he has been exercising.
Is the kindergarten a full-time kindergarten?
Yes, Your Honor.
They're all at the same school?
Correct.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Locke, what is your client's proposal?
Your Honor, our proposal is that the temporary order maintain the status quo, which would be traditionally the purpose of a temporary order while the court determines what is in the best interest of the children after hearing evidence and considering the parenting time factors. Our proposal is that we do just that, maintain the status quo, which is that my client has the children essentially from Sunday till Wednesday after school. Mr. Klaus has the children every Wednesday after school until Friday after school. And then he has 1 weekend a month. And how the parties have organized that is essentially they do it month to month, which weekend he has. They haven't had a set weekend that he has parenting time. And that parenting time ends. We were just doing 5:30. And traditionally they have exchanged at 5:30 on Sunday during dad's parenting time weekend. So we're asking the court just maintain that parenting plan status quo and not modify the children to a week on, week off schedule when they have essentially seen their mom every single day, with the exception of Wednesday night, they see her Wednesday morning, and then they see her Friday. So the only day during the week that they haven't been seeing their mom is Thursday. Otherwise, they've seen her and had consistent parenting time with her. So to start school, have their kindergartner start her first year of full-time school, and switch to a week on, week off parenting time where now they're suddenly not seeing their mom for a whole week at a time, that's just too much change. All at the same time. Maintaining the current parenting time schedule gives each parent the opportunity to see the kids every week. It maintains the consistency that they've had, and it essentially maintains that status quo while the kids start school. And additionally, Your Honor, what Miss Dixon made a comment about the hair follicle. We requested the hair follicle examination in advance of this hearing, and essentially the position was only if she would pay for it, but I didn't hear that until July 17th and did not have, and then I was out of the office, out of state, and didn't have the opportunity to speak to my client meaningfully about that. We're interested in the hair follicle examination. My client is willing to pay for that, although Mr. Klaus has more supplemental income than she does, but she's willing to pay for it. Because sobriety is concerning. It was the reason for the separation, and it is something that is concerning to her.
What's your client's position regarding domestic conciliation?
Judge, I don't think that it's necessary. These parties have been able to talk to each other, to work with each other. I think the hangup at this point is essentially just the final division of assets. But it sounds like there's this adamant objection now to parenting time. If we have to go to domestic conciliation, my client will participate. But I think that that's a pretty aggressive approach to a relatively minor, if we're talking about shared residency versus parenting time and what that schedule is going to be. I think the court could hear evidence on that before having someone else step in to this case.
All right. Is there not a child support order in place?
There is not, Your Honor.
There's not, Judge.
The agreement of the parties when they separated was that Mr. Klaus would continue to pay for two of the children are in private speech therapy, that he would continue to pay for that therapy. He has done that, and it is approximately $520 a month. And that has been paid out of one of the parties' joint accounts, which has not been divided between the parties to this point. And so dad has been paying that amount outside of a child support order.
Well, it makes sense to me, at least for a temporary order, to maintain the current parenting time plan that the parties have been utilizing. So that's going to be the order of the court. And I am going to order that a hair follicle test be done at the expense of Miss Klaus. Are we talking a 10 panel or what?
Just for alcohol, Judge. That's been the only concern in this matter. And Judge, when he takes that and when he passes it, will the court entertain a motion to modify parenting time? Because that's been on the table for over a month at this point, and he's even brought it up to Miss Klaus to take, and she hasn't responded.
Well, that's a lesser concern than the disruption to the young kids on the proposed plan. But I'm just thinking of this as a temporary order. I think the party should attempt to come up with something different. If they just can't agree, we can consider domestic conciliation. My concerns with that are the costs involved and the length of time and the possibility of a settlement versus just getting recommendations. Sometimes it's easier just to go ahead and have an evidentiary hearing, which you're going to end up doing anyway if the parties have their heels dug in.
Judge, with the court's permission, could we just go ahead and set this for evidentiary hearing?
I'm fine with that. Ms. Locke, any objection?
No objection, Judge. I'll need some time to make sure I get documents from Ms. Dixon's client, but beyond that, we should be ready. I think I've produced to her what she asked my client for already.
All right, and then as far as child support, are the parties wanting there to be a child support order in place based on the temporary parenting plan that's been ordered today?
Judge, if Miss Locke is in agreement, I think her and I can just run the numbers on it because both parties they're just normal. But he has his disability income and she's a W-2. The only thing I would ask for is I'd have to run the number on how much parenting time he has. But if he falls in the parenting time adjustment for child support, I would like the court to order that if he qualifies for it, that he would get it. I just don't know what that number would be if he qualifies.
All right, Ms. Locke, your thoughts?
Judge, I think that's appropriate under the guidelines that if a parent has a parenting time adjustment, that it be included in the worksheet. So we don't have an objection to that.
All right, I'll just order that child support be calculated based on the court's temporary order that's just been issued. I'll allow you all to submit those proposals to one another, and I can't imagine it'd be difficult to get an agreed child support order.
Judge, will that be effective August 1st?
I think that'd be appropriate.
And Judge, do we need to coordinate with your aide to get a date for the hearing?
I was gonna do that now. I will.
Okay.
How far out and how much time do you think we need?
Judge, I would ask, well, first of all, I would say half day if Ms. Locke is in agreement with that. I think we could get it done in half a day. And then I would say as soon as the court can hear it and whatever works with everyone's schedules.
All right, Ms. Locke?
I feel like every time I get set for a half day, we end up needing another half day at another time. So I think maybe a full day, and we hope that we give you half your day back.
That's fair, Judge. Better to be safe than sorry.
All right, Angela, when do we have a full day?
October 1st at 9 o'clock.
Is that the one we just took off, Angela?
It is.
Okay, great. Well, then I'm available. Look at that.
I have that full day too, Judge.
All right,
At 9 a.m.
correct, and that'll be in person here at the courthouse. And exhibits, if you have more than 10 pages of exhibits, if you could put those in a notebook and get them to us 3 days ahead of the hearing. If you all reach some sort of an agreement on all issues ahead of time, let us know. We can either schedule an in-person hearing, or if it's by agreement and you all draft the appropriate paperwork, I oftentimes will just sign those without a hearing, as long as it's agreed to by both parties.
And Judge, if we, I know it kind of differs from judge to judge, but if, let's say we reach an agreement on property, will the court bifurcate the divorce if we reach an agreement on that, or do you prefer to handle everything at once?
I'm not a big fan of bifurcation. I'd rather just do it all at once.
Understood, Judge. Thank you.
All right. We need to have Ms. Locke, can you prepare the temporary order?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I include that the parties exchange their exhibits 7 days in advance?
That sounds appropriate.
I have no
Okay.
objection to that.
Yes, I can prepare the temporary order.
All right, and that's going to include the hair follicle request. We probably should set a deadline to have that done. Can that be done by the end of this week?
Gavin, can you get it done by the end of this week if she pays for it?
Ms. Locke, can your client pay for that this week?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do they do that here at Assured across the street, or does he have to go somewhere different?
I tried to call Assured about this last week, but I didn't get an answer. They historically have not, but I'll call and find out. If not, I think Express Wellness in Andover does them, but she'll communicate with him where she has coordinated that.
Okay, and the 5 days is just so we don't lose track of it. If logistically it can't be done because of location, then just agree to a time if it goes beyond the 5 days.
Okay. And is it okay if I include the scheduling order in the temporary order?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay.
All right, anything else today?
No, Judge, thank you.
I don't believe
All right,
so.
thank you, everyone. We'll be in recess. Have a good day.